Hello, welcome to another one of my videos. Today I wanted to talk about the friendships in the Jehovah's Witnesses. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up, or talk about this I should say, is because, well, I may not have been raised a Jehovah's Witness, but I was in that cult for 18 years. And one of the things, when you leave that cult, you lose all the former friends you've had. Like, anybody who was your friend in there, you lose. Like, they have to shun you and ignore you, and you can't talk to them anymore. And you know, I was 36 when I started studying at 18, and I left at 36. And divided in half, that would add up to about half my life at that point in a cult. So yeah, pretty much all of my friends were Jehovah's Witnesses. Although being raised in the world, I always I had a few worldly friends. I mean, like, I tried to be a good JW because I didn't hang out with them a lot, or only when I was at work or at the volunteering that I did once a week. So I wouldn't get together with them a lot. But when I was starting to wake up and knew I wanted to leave, I did start hanging out with those friends outside of work or volunteering a little bit more, because I knew I had to have something in place for when I left the cult. I couldn't leave and not have like any kind of friends to. And there are some days when I sit and just have moments where I'll think of the former friends that I've had in the Jehovah's Witnesses. There are times at night where I have had quite a few dreams. It's not every night. Like, not every night, but I'll have dreams that I'm still a Jehovah's Witness going to the Kingdom Hall, and yeah, or none out in service, thankfully, but I've had dreams where usually at the Kingdom Hall, sometimes at assemblies or conventions. And there'll always be a few of my JW friends that will make an appearance. And I think I definitely want to express that I have all the JW friends that I've left behind, or, you know, because of how the rules work, I just just because of how the rules work, I would never, I don't have any kind of hatred towards any of them. You know, definitely not. I think it's just kind of a shame that the only reason we're not friends and we don't talk to each other anymore is because I left and they have to follow the rules. I was close to a few. I didn't have a lot of JW friends. And I've learned that there might have been a couple extra reasons behind it. I had noticed they were always a lot more cautious. I noticed a lot of JW parents seemed to be more cautious when there was a few, because I would just like hear them in the background, like they were far enough I wasn't directly listening in, but I could hear them talking. They didn't want their kids to even hang out with another kid in the congregation if they weren't baptized. restricting friendship enough, and now, and yeah, some of them, and I'm sure there's a lot of them out there, like, even if that other kid is not baptized, you cannot hang out with them. I think some of them definitely might have been more wary of me because I was raised in the world. Like, it's not like I grew up in the Jehovah's Witnesses. I came in at a later age. And I think there's also kind of a stigma to sisters who are single. Like, I'm kind of just up to no good, which wasn't really true. But it's, you know what, sometimes I think, like, man, the only reason I've lost those former JW friends is because of the stupid, silly rules that they have to shun former believers and those who leave. And I know it's not really for their protection. It's because the leaders don't want them to learn of any information that might cause them to question or potentially wake up. It's more of like a shield or an extreme measure. Definitely more of an extreme measure, as a lot of you would know, especially when these shunning policies are imposed on, like, your own family members who have left. Yeah, some of these, like, the length I was in, we're talking a lot of friendships that were, like 18 years, like over 15 years. Like, I knew them a long time. Now, I wasn't, my whole life, in fact, I was never somebody who was, like, super popular. I would not describe myself as a social butterfly, but I had a few good friends. And if there's any differences in a JW friend as opposed to worldly friends, one thing I did take note of is it was almost like you were held to a higher standard in the friendships. Like, if I accidentally said something that was, like, rude or a little, like, whoa, why did you say that? I had a few times where I'm not meaning to come off as rude or offensive the way I was, but they kind of overreact to it. Yeah, it's like I'm held to you're held to a higher standard of friendship. Like, you have to be a really good friend, and of course they have the part where, like, they have to snitch on you if they see something, if they see you're, like, doing something you're not supposed to do. And I was JW friends, like, there's no partying or drinking or anything. It's a lot of simple gatherings, which, I mean, nothing wrong with that. I'm into the simpler things in life in general. Like, I had a couple of JW friends I was happy enough just to get together, watch a movie, or go for a walk, or there was a couple that I was able to house sit for when they went on vacation. And when I would go over to her place, we would watch movies or go to thrift stores, or I had a few. In the later years, up until when I left, I was invited more often to those gatherings, those little, like, the meetings you hold when you're, like, trying to sell makeup or products like that. Of course, I was the type that I was upfrontly vocal about, like, I'm happy to attend, but I'm probably not going to buy anything. and most of them were okay with that. And it was the only time I did not attend one was where they were serving food and snacks, but they wanted each person coming to donate $10, like to pay $10, and it said you were going to get a free sample or something. In my head, I think obviously in everybody else's head too, okay, well then obviously this free sample is not free if we have to pay $10. At least that's the way I saw it. So I think my main, I care about my former friends. I do miss them. Yes, there have been a couple times where I've even shed a tear, but I am definitely resolute in that I would I quickly tell myself to, like, there is no way I cannot return to a religion that I know is wrong just to get some friends back. And that does make a lot of sense. I will never hate them. If it wasn't for the shunning rules, of course, I would love to be able to talk to them and continue some of those friendships. I mean, like, minus the JW part. Okay, obviously that can't really happen. And yeah, and I'm kind of thankful that when I'm out and about, I don't really run into them that much. The worst I've had was even on a small scale. I was in a public bathroom, and when I walked in, there was a sister that I formerly knew at the sink and mirrors, like fixing up her hair, and she didn't turn around, but I know she saw me, and as I passed her, she immediately left the bathroom, like instantly. And I did not even bother to say hi, because I know they're told, don't say anything, run away. It's really a shame that former members have to be looked at and treated as like some kind of disease-ridden, poisonous, toxic. It's like at the start they'll really go out of their way, take a personal interest when you're newly studying and newly baptized. Like, they'll really go out of their way to make you feel welcome and special. And yet, anyone who leaves, it's like, yeah, well, nice knowing you. Can't wait to see you die at Armageddon. Burn up like a hot dog. Well, it's kind of true. I did when I left, I did get a couple messages. I hope you return to Jehovah. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you come back. I didn't respond back at all. And it's just some of the, one of the it's just something that you gotta learn to live with and successfully overcome. And it might be hard at first to overcome it, but it can be overcome. Being you got losing all your JW former friends now, but there's lots of people out there. There's lots of people who might even be nicer than the JWs were. There was another thing I did note while I was a Jehovah's Witness. One good example. The church, I attend a church now, and since this whole pandemic has started, I have gotten phone calls every few weeks and offers of gift cards to help me out with groceries should I need that kind of help. And I'm very thankful for those. And as a Jehovah's Witness, okay, I know like we never went through any kind of pandemic, but like just like if I missed a few meetings or somebody knew I was down or sick, I would say getting calls from elders or other members just to check up on me. Pretty well never. So that, yeah, it's at least in the congregation I went to, like, you know, like you wouldn't get a call from an elder unless you were in trouble or if you really missed a lot of the meetings. So yeah, it's although at the end of the day, I'm so happy I'm out of that cult, like 100%. I am happy I'm out. I have made new friends now. And I just hope that some of my friends, former friends still in there, if anything, I pray for them quite a bit. But I hope some of them might wake up and escape that cult too. There were at least one or two when I was in that sometimes in my head I could say like I could see some potential that they might wake up one day. So I try to pray for ones like those. So anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed my video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one, and have a good weekend. Bye.